Are we ready for the matter of People versus Jansen?
On behalf of the defendant, Mr. Jansen, who's present out of custody, we're ready.
People are ready, Your Honor.
Are we going to start?
I make a motion to exclude witnesses.
There are no other witnesses present, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Raise your right hand, please, to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you shall give before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You may be seated. Please state your full name and spell your last.
Shelley Jean Jansen, Jansen.
Proceed, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Jansen, do you know the defendant in this case?
Yes.
And were you married to Mr. Jeffrey Jansen for a period of time?
Yes.
How many years were you married to him?
Approximately 6.
And were you married to him on April the 18th of 2014?
No.
Did you go over to see him on that particular day?
Yes.
And when you went over to see Mr. Jansen, where did you go?
I went over to his apartment.
Was that 10 Pine Street in the city of Irvine, County of Orange?
Yes.
When you went over to see Mr. Jansen at that location on April the 18th, for what reason did you go see him?
To pick up a child support check. He had called me in the morning.
Objection, non-responsive.
That remains.
You have to listen carefully to the question. Just answer the question that's asked, okay?
Okay.
And when you, or did you in fact go over to pick up a child support check then?
Yes.
About what time of the day was that you went over to pick up that check?
8:15.
In the morning?
Yes.
Your Honor, can I ask her to speak up a little louder?
8:15.
Thank you.
Ma'am, please move a little closer to the mic and speak up so everyone can hear you. Continue, counsel.
And did you go over to 10 Pine Street at approximately 8:15 in the morning?
Yes.
And when you went to that location at that time, did you make contact with Mr. Jansen?
Yes.
And did you go into that particular residence?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, was that where Mr. Jansen was residing on April the 18th?
Yes.
When you went into the residence at that time, did you see anyone else in the residence?
No.
For approximately how long after you first entered the residence were you inside the residence?
Around 25 minutes.
Okay, did Mr. Jansen at any time while you were in the residence give you that child support check?
Yes.
When was it that he gave you that check?
Probably, well, when I first arrived, he said...
Objection. It is non-responsive. I will move to strike.
Your objection is sustained. Ma'am, listen to the question.
Okay.
Let him ask it. Okay, go ahead.
Is the motion to strike granted?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
I will rephrase the question.
Thank you.
When you went inside the residence, did you ask Mr. Jansen for that child support check?
Yes.
Did he have the check ready for you at that time?
No.
Did he say something to you at that time?
Yes.
What did he say?
He said, "Come on in. I will get the checkbook."
Did you go into the residence?
Yes, I stepped inside the door.
How was Mr. Jansen dressed when he first answered the door?
With a towel wrapped around him.
Around his waist?
It was just a bath towel.
Excuse me?
It was just a bath towel.
Ms. Jansen, you are going to have to respond to the question. Listen to the question, respond to the question, and speak out, because they are having trouble hearing. She has to record everything you say, and the attorney must hear everything you say.
What the court is getting at is we need a yes or no.
Okay. Yes, I'm sorry.
Did he then go somewhere after he told you he would go get the checkbook?
Yes.
Where did he go?
Well, it appeared that he was going back to his bedroom.
Okay, was he gone for a period of time?
Well, about 10 minutes.
Okay, and after this 10-minute period, did he come back from the rear portion of the residence?
Objection. Misstates the testimony.
Sustained. Rephrase the question.
After this approximate 10-minute period, did he return from what appeared to you to be the bedroom area?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, is the bedroom located in the rear portion of the residence?
Yes.
Okay, and how was he dressed at that time?
He didn't have anything on. He was naked.
Okay, did he have the check with him at this time?
No, he had the checkbook.
Okay, but nothing else? No clothes or nothing else in his hands?
No.
Did he say anything to you when he came out of the rear portion of the residence with the checkbook in his hands?
Yes.
What did he say?
He said, I will give you $1,000 if you take all your clothes off.
What did you say to him?
I said, you are nuts. I said, Jeff, we are divorced. This is ridiculous. I said, just give me the check. I need to go to work. I have an appointment and I am leaving. Just give me the check. I would like to go to work.
What, if anything, did Mr. Jansen say at that time?
He said, I will give you anything if you make love to me.
Did you say anything further to him at this time?
I said, Jeff, are you out of your mind? I said, forget it. Just give me the check. I'm going. I said, we are divorced. This is ridiculous.
What, if anything, did Mr. Jansen do at that time?
He handed me the check. He placed his arms around me at that time. He said, I just need a hug. I said, Jeff, no. That is when the struggle began.
When you say that is when the struggle began, what did he do then?
Well, first he wouldn't let go, and I tried to break the hug. He had his arms around me, and he wouldn't let me go. He was not letting go. I said, Jeff, let go, and he wouldn't. And at that point, he started, kissing me on the neck and had his hands all over me, and he started dragging me across the room. I knew at that point that...
Objection. Calls for speculation. Irrelevant.
Sustained.
Okay, and how far did Mr. Jansen drag you?
Probably to the start of the hallway next to his bedroom.
Okay, and in terms of feet, approximately how far would that be?
From the front door, probably about 10 feet.
Okay, and is that where you were standing when he first started to hug you?
Yes, I was by the front door.
Did you do anything to attempt to get out of the hug that he had or hold that he had you in?
Yes.
What did you do?
Well, I first took my elbows to break the hug. Then I just started screaming, and he wouldn't let go of me. I started biting and kicking and yelling and moving around.
Did Mr. Jansen ever strike you during this period of time?
No.
Approximately how long would you say it took for him to drag you from the front door to the start of the hallway?
Oh, about maybe 5 minutes.
Did he have you in his arms this entire time?
Yes.
Within his grasp?
Yes. I remember...
Objection. Non-responsive. I move to strike the portion after yes.
Sustained. The answer yes will remain.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Were you ever able to break free while you were in this living room area?
Yes.
When were you able to break free?
I bit his hand. I remember biting his hand, and at that point I was able to break free and ran back to the front door.
Objection. Non-responsive. Move to strike.
Sustained.
And what did you do after biting his hand?
I broke away and I ran.
And where did you run to?
Toward the front door.
Were you able to get out to the front door at this time?
No.
What stopped you from getting out the front door?
He ran after me and stopped me or grabbed me again.
And what did he do after he grabbed you the second time?
He started dragging me back to the bedroom again and said something like, "Come on, we are going to the bedroom."
Did he say anything when you were going to the bedroom on this second occasion?
No.
Excuse me, was he naked during this entire period of time?
Yes.
Did you ever try to scream when he had his arms around you?
Yes.
And did he do anything to attempt to prevent you from screaming?
Yes.
What did he do?
He put his hand over my mouth.
Were you ever able to get out of the house?
Yes.
From the time when he first grabbed you and you were able to get out of the house, how much time would you say went by?
15 or 20 minutes, I would say.
Now, you indicated that one time you bit his hand and you ran towards the front door, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Just to clarify, you didn't get out of the house at that time, did you?
No.
Okay.
How were you able to get away from him the second time to where you did run out of the house?
Objection. Misstates the evidence.
Rephrase the question.
Did you get away from him more than one time?
Yes.
Okay. How many times were you able to get away from him?
2 times.
The second time you got away from him, were you able to get out of the house?
Yes.
How did you get away from him the second time?
I was standing near the door, and I kicked my heels up. I was almost out the door, and I kicked my high heels off, and stepped my foot in the door and just started screaming as loud as I could. I just screamed. I thought if a neighbor heard...
Objection. That is non-responsive.
The portion of the answer, I started screaming, can stay. Everything else is stricken.
Okay, when you first entered the apartment, did you close the front door behind you?
No.
So while you were in the apartment this entire time, the front door was open?
Yes.